The wait is over. The 12 best competitive timber sports athletes on the planet reach for their axes and saws to see who is the world's best over 6 disciplines. What matters here is strength, precision, technique, and stamina. The title for the individual STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship is at stake. American Matt Koger makes his return to the World Championship with sights set on the medal stand.
This is my 5th time representing the United States as an individual. Best finish I ever had at the World Championships is 2nd place silver medal. I medaled in 2013 as my first year representing the United States, and then I represented last year at Stuttgart as well, and finished with silver.
At this point, we're thinking gold. I mean, gold is a legitimate chance here.
The Hawkins Arena in Oslo plays host to this year's World Championship, drawing fans from all over Europe to see the athletes from around the globe.
It's a spectacle event. It's definitely kind of like going to a soccer game. You got a lot of countries cheering for you and a lot of favorites.
One of those favorites is looking to claim his 9th STIHL Timbersports World title, Jason Wynyard.
I'm Jason Wynyard from New Zealand.
Jason Wynyard in Timbersports is actually pretty much relatable to Michael Jordan of basketball. You know, he's done all the events and he's perfected everything he can possibly. He's taken the sport very, very far.
This is the ultimate for me. When you're doing what you love, there's no pressure.
Among today's favorites, a former champion from down under.
I'm Brad DeLosa from Australia. Certainly like to win it. You know, after you win it once, I think your expectations are quite high and you would like to win it again.
I'm Martin Komarek from Czech Republic.
Martin Komarek is always a threat.
In competition, you need such a good performance, but also concentration.
Oh my goodness! Look at the time!
I try to do a couple of problems for the other guys.
So let's kick off the first of 6 disciplines. Using the underhand chop technique, resting tree trunks were cut in half. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, these athletes will have to chop through a 32-centimeter thick trunk with an axe. The block has to be worked from both sides. All right, 2 giants, 2 veterans of this sport will be facing off now. Both of these gentlemen obviously placing a lot of value on the underhand chop to get this competition started in a good way. Both of them very strong in this discipline. I would say the advantage here goes to Martin Komarek, though. Martin getting his axe stuck really quickly there, but he is looking very good thus far. Brad DeLosa still on the first side now, finally coming over to the other side. Martin Komarek with a slight advantage, but Brad DeLosa upping the frequency of his blows here. Looks like he might actually get through there before Martin Komarek. Oh my goodness, was that ever close? A 19.75, and it's been readjusted to a 20.55 for Martin Komarek. All these times obviously unofficial until our judges give the thumbs up, but look at that, really, really close. One blow was the difference between these 2 guys.
Okay guys, both cuts are good.
All right, good times for both of these gentlemen. 1st and 2nd place at the moment.
Get some fire going, man. This one's yours. Get some fire. White hot shooting flames of heat.
I'm Matt Koger representing the United States. Underhand for me is my best event.
And of course, we have the legend in the house, Jason Wynyard.
I'm Jason Wynyard from New Zealand. Underhand for me is quite difficult, but hopefully quick.
Well, Jason Wynyard may be in tough against Matt Koger. He obviously says himself that underhand is not his discipline. I think that is definitely reserved for the single buck, but that's not leaving Jason Wynyard any kind of downgrading on this one here. He's such a strong axeman, and you can see he and Matt Koger are going hit for hit in these first few blows, but Matt Koger gets to the other side quickly. Jason Wynyard right there with him. Hey, this could be a really good battle between these 2 gentlemen. Koger gets his axe stuck a couple of times, but he gets through quickly in a 16.36. That's the fastest time of the day so far. And Jason Wynyard's there with an 18.67. Very nice.
That was with the axe stick in every other hit. 15 seconds. He could have cut that in 12 easy. Just the axes he brought were suited to last year's wood a little more, and he still crushed the fields.
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
Matt Kogar with the fastest time in the first discipline.
No, I didn't really have any problems. I was off balance in the underhand, I think, and probably cost me a couple of seconds.
Matt Kogar with little time to celebrate his first place in the underhand. He's up second in the next event. Taking a look at the overall leaderboard, Matt Kogar's top time gives him 12 overall points, followed by Jason Wynyard, Martin Komarek in third, and Brad DeLosa rounding out the top four. Coming up, an event where steady hands and calm nerves make all the difference. The stock saw is next when the STIHL Timbersport Series World Championship continues.
The STIHL Timbersport Series World Championship is brought to you by STIHL, the #1 selling brand of chainsaw worldwide. Duluth Trading, designed and tested by tradesmen.
The quest to crown the STIHL Timbersport Series World Champion continues from the Hawkins Hall in Lillehammer, Norway. Now we're ready for the second of 6 disciplines, the stock saw.
Following the signal to start, the athletes have to cut off 2 timber discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter marking. The first cut is made from top to bottom, the second from bottom to top. The attempt is only valid if we have 2 cookies that are completely within the markings. Mitch Hewitt prepared at a special site in Spain for this event.
My axe hasn't made me, it's taken me all over the world, really.
Sterling Hart is one of his biggest competitors back in Canada.
I have a funny relationship with Sterling in that for most of the year we're competitors, and so we're competing against each other and trying kind of being smart to each other.
This year, Hewitt managed to defeat Sterling Hart at the Canadian Championships. This is why he's here.
He's a competitive person, and so am I, so we kind of have a bit of fun with it too.
Building that camaraderie leading into a World Championship, I think, has been the key to our successes over the last few years, and I think we're just going to continue to build on that. You know, I think he's the man for the job this year, and it's been back and forth between me, Mitchell, and Marcel. So I think having any one of us up there going for Team Canada, I think we're in very, very good hands.
My goals for Lillehammer, just trying to be the smooth operator and get through each event nice and consistent, and we'll see where we are at the end.
I really like the stock saw event. It's fun.
Stock saw is a critical event because there's so many guys that are so close with the stock saw. It can probably nearly win or lose you the championship.
All right, Mitchell Hewitt up against Brad DeLosa in stock saw. This is a strong discipline for Mitchell Hewitt, so I think we could give Canada the slight advantage here. Let's see.
Get set.
All right, it looks like a good start by DeLosa. Let's get a picture over of Mitchell Hewitt. Oh, he's good through with the first disc. And it's looking like a pretty even battle on the way up. You don't want to push that saw too hard, otherwise the chain will stall. And we have a good time. It's a personal best for Mitch Hewitt with a 10:43.
Okay, nice work, guys. Both cuts are good.
Do deep breaths, relax out. You got it. I'm that little voice in his ear, you know, calming him down when he needs to be calmed down, pumping him up when he needs to be pumped up. You know, just an ear to bounce ideas off of. What axe should I use? You know, what should I adjust here or there? Mostly just support, you know. I'm not going to tell him what to do. He's been here before. He knows what to do already. Hey, you're first in points.
Thanks, Mike.
Just thought I'd keep you up to date on the mats.
Yeah, thanks for getting me. Yes. Stock saw, I've trained hard and I should be ready for it.
Matt Kogar challenging the champion from Austria.
I am Armin Kugler from Austria.
Stock saw is not my favorite discipline.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Well, you can't be afraid of these saws, and Armin Kugler obviously not liking this discipline compared to others. He's in tough against Matt Kogar, who is very solid in this discipline, but he's holding his own very well. Armin Kugler with an 11.66, actually besting Matt Kogar, who got a 12.03. Very well done.
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
The next pairing, Paolo Vicenzi from Italy against Elgin Pugh from Great Britain.
I am Paolo Vicenzi from Italy.
I am Elgin Pugh from Great Britain. I've become a lot more confident in stock saw.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Jumping over to Elgin Pugh's side of the stage, and he's looking pretty solid on that first cut. Got to be careful with that upswing. And look at that. These guys are really, really even. Elgin Pugh with a slight advantage, and he gets through first in a time 11.58 to 12.46 for Paolo Vicenzi.
Okay, nice work, guys. Both cuts are good.
Mitch Hewitt takes first in the stock saw and scores 12 overall points, followed by Brad DeLosa and Robert Ebner. Taking a look at our overall standings, Brad DeLosa, Jason Wynyard, Martin Komarek, and Mitch Hewitt make up the top 4. Only the top 8 will move on to the next round. Standing block is next when the STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship continues. The STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship from Lillehammer continues. We're in the final moments of our first round competition. 12 competitors vying for 8 spots. The bottom 4 will be eliminated.
The third discipline is standing block chop. For standing block, felling a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically anchored timber block with a 30-centimeter diameter is to be severed from both sides. Facing off in the next duel, Vebjorn Sonsteby and Pierre Puy-Barré.
I am Pierre Puy-Barré from France. Standing, j'adore.
Standing block is my favorite event.
Timer's ready.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
Should be an interesting heat. 2 guys who like this discipline very much, but it appears like both of them are having a little bit of problem with their axes getting stuck in the blocks. Pierre Puy-Barré with a slight advantage here as he moves over to the other side just ahead of Vebjorn. But the Norwegian hopeful has to give everything he's got if he wants to make it into the next round, because he is not among the top 8, and it's not going to work for him today. Puy-Barré with a 21.91 on the standing block.
Okay, guys, nice work. Both cuts are good.
Stock saw turned out pretty good. I achieved exactly what I was going for.
Standing block chop is the hard event for me.
Standing block is my favorite discipline.
Coming on to the stage, we have Martin Komarek and Paolo Vicenzi. Paolo Vicenzi on the right-hand side with the blue shirt, and there we see Martin Komarek getting ready to start things off here. Martin Komarek with a lot of experience. He is one of the original timber sports athletes to participate in the European events, and he has been around basically since day one on this side of the pond. He's doing a great job moving over to the other side. Paolo, on the other hand, had a lot of trouble getting that axe out of the block as he had to go back a little bit and really wrench it out. So the advantage here goes to Komarek, and he drops that block in 21.65. A very good time. Vincenzi has to do one more hit to get it off, and that's a 26.75 for him. There's that final drive on the far side by Martin Komarek.
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
Yeah, I'm happy how I cut today because it's not my favorite discipline and it's hard for me to do, so I am happy with that.
Standing block's the last discipline in the first bracket, so it's important to get some good points there.
Standing block for me has been up and down. I know I have the potential to do well in it, but for some reason it's been a little frustrating for me the last 5 years.
Mitchell Hewitt's got a bit of an odd relationship with the standing block chop. Sometimes he's hot, sometimes he's not. Let's see how he does today against Brad DeLosa.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, we're looking at Brad DeLosa there, who's got 2, 3, 4 really good hits on the first side. He's looking solid. Mitchell Hewitt, though, moving over at the same time as DeLosa. This could be a very good battle for these two guys. Time is running, but you know what? These are very fast times so far for Mitchell Hewitt and Brad DeLosa. And Mitch Hewitt drops it in 18.85. Fastest time so far. DeLosa in a 22.31. Look at that final drive by Mitch Hewitt. Fantastic.
Okay, great stuff, guys. Both cuts are good.
I just had a pretty good cut in the standing block. I'm pretty happy with that.
Standing block. I love standing block. That's my favourite.
Standing block is another one of my strong suits, and I look forward to sinking the axe in the log.
Two guys who are very big, very strong with long strokes, and both of them like this discipline. Should be a really fun heat.
Timer's ready.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
Kogar against Wynyard, Wynyard against Kogar, and we're looking at Jason Wynyard. He's got a ton of power, but look at the long strokes that Matt Kogar is throwing into this log, and both of them moving over to the other side at the same time. This is hit for hit. Wynyard looks like he's got that a little bit loose. Could he break it off before Kogar? He does it. What a great time for Wynyard. 2014 and a 21.77 for Matt Kogar. Points so critical right now because only the top 8 athletes will be moving on to the next round.
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
I think I'm in pretty good position, so just trying to be more consistent and keep it going.
12 points in standing block goes to Mitch Hewitt, followed by Jason Wynyard and Matt Kogar. At halftime, Mitch Hewitt leads ahead of Jason Wynyard and Martin Komarek. Brad DeLosa and Matt Kogar are still in striking range. After 3 of 6 disciplines, the field has been cut from 12 to 8 athletes. Coming up, the points are doubled as we kick off the final 3 events. Up next, an event that requires every muscle in the body. The single buck, aka the misery whip, is ahead when the STIHL Timbersports World Championship from Lillehammer, Norway continues.
The STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship is brought to you by STIHL, the #1 selling brand of gasoline-powered handheld outdoor power equipment in America. Duluth Trading, designed and tested by tradesmen.
We're halfway through the STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship from Lillehammer, Norway. The field of 12 has been cut to 8. Canadian Mitch Hewitt leads the field, followed by Jason Wynyard, Martin Komarek, and Brad DeLosa. American Matt Kogar sits within striking distance in 5th place as we head into a grueling total body workout the single buck.
Single buck is a single-man pit saw that is roughly 2 meters long. The athletes need to saw a complete disc off a 46-centimeter timber block. Here, you need a combination of rhythm and power.
Just keep me confident.
I won't Arden Cogar Jr. yet.
Yeah, don't Arden Jr. I'm done with Arden Jr. Yeah. All right. Come on.
Single buck been working hard on, and I think that I'm going to be able to do very well in that event.
Single buck combines technical and power.
All right, Matt Kogar, Robert Abner, two very young guys with plenty of power to boot. Let's see how they do in the single buck.
3, 2, 1, go!
Getting a good clean start is very crucial here, and making sure that you keep that rhythm. You don't want to get any teeth caught here, and it looks like Robert Ebner's got a good flow going, and he's going to get, oh no! He broke the cookie off prematurely and has to go back and cut that last section, and that's going to cost him time. And Matt Kogar gets a good time of 13:27. Let's look at this again. Yeah, he just twisted the saw, and unfortunately that busted that piece off, which is an incomplete cookie, and it means he's got to go back, reset, and cut the last bit off.
Okay, we made a video check on the start of stand B, and both cuts are good.
Matt had a good cut going there. Nice and clean, good pace. He got off in a time that should still put him in the top 4, I would expect.
Yeah, just tried to run the saw the best I could, and just try to make it a personal best for myself. Yeah, and that's what happened. So that's awesome.
Single buck comes into the double points, so from here on in, yeah, single buck's very important.
Single buck is for me a hard event. It's not my favorite, but if everything is fine, I can do also good times.
Martin Komarek up against Brad DeLosa. Now this is definitely Brad DeLosa's discipline. He is so solid, and he's got some fans in the audience there.
Okay, gentlemen.
Awesome. Here we go.
Timers ready.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go!
Keep a close eye on how Brad DeLosa works this saw back and forth using the entire 2 meters. A very good sawyer here, but Martin Komarek, using that big long body of his, has a great time as well. Both of them are very good. 11:83 for DeLosa, 12:13 for Komarek.
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
Good, yeah, really good. The single buck went as good as I could, really, so it was a PB for me, so I'm pretty happy with that, yeah.
All right, the man warming up with the skipping rope here is currently the man to beat in timber sports, Jason Wynyard. He visited the Hawkins Hall one day prior to the competition. Knows his way around this place. He's won here before. Since winning the title of world champion in 2006 for the first time, the STIHL Timbersports World Championship stage has had a magical pull on him. He won his second title in Brienne, Switzerland in 2009. In 2010, he got his third world title in St. Johann in Austria. Wynyard celebrated his fourth triumph in 2011 in Roermond in the Netherlands. And his fifth title here in Lillehammer in 2012. Innsbruck in Austria was the 2014 site of his sixth title. He could not compete in 2013 due to an injury, and that's why this achievement was all the more emotional. He won his seventh trophy in Poznan, Poland. In Stuttgart last year, he then celebrated his incredible 8th world title. This man is simply unbeatable. And to top it all off, Jason Wynyard is nearly 44 years old and hasn't had enough yet.
Single buck is very technical and a lot of hard work. Single buck to me has kind of been a non-event. I never used to enjoy it at all, and I've come to appreciate it, and I don't mind it.
All right, here they come. Mitchell Hewitt on the right-hand side of the stage there, doing it for Canada. And of course, Jason Wynyard, this is his discipline, bar none.
Ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
If you could make that log out of butter and that saw hot, it wouldn't go any faster for Jason Wynyard. Look at that style, look at the skill. Mitch Hewitt really in tough here, and he hooks the saw up a couple of times. He's well behind. Wynyard with a 10.47, and Hewitt finally looking towards the bottom of that log, and he gets through in an 18.79. No contest here. Just using that power and that full stroke of the saw, Wynyard unbeatable.
Okay, excellent work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
In his favorite discipline, Jason Wynyard takes top points. Brad DeLosa takes second, just ahead of Martin Komarick, and Mitch Hewitt stumbles, losing valuable points. The tension builds and the danger intensifies. Coming up next, lumberjacks will race to ascend 9-foot trees and smash blocks. The Springboard is next when the STIHL Timbersports World Championship continues. Back in Lillehammer for the STIHL Timbersports World Championship. Defending champion from New Zealand, Jason Wynyard, is leading after 4 of 6 disciplines. He's followed by Brad DeLosa, Martin Komarick, Mitch Hewitt, and Matt Koger sit in 4th and 5th, and still in striking distance as we head into our 5th discipline, the Springboard.
Springboard imitates the old woodchopper technique to deal with a tough burl wood. The athletes cut 2 pockets into the vertically anchored tree trunk. Then they climb onto the top to smash through the timber block on top from both sides with their axe. All right, coming onto the stage, we've got Arkadiusz Drozdek from Poland up against Pierre Puybarret from France. Both of these gentlemen have great big audience fan bases out there, so they're going to have plenty of support.
3, 2, 1, go.
So the situation here is the best case to cut a 4-hit pocket. That means 4 strikes with the axe, set your board, get up, and set your next board. This is very difficult, though, and you see Pierre Puybarret, his board is starting to sag at the back end, and that takes away the stability as you move up. Arkadiusz Drozdek, meanwhile, has got his first board, and it looks like a very good one. And now Pierre Puybarret has got his second board in. Drozdek also with his second board. And now it's about getting that top block off as quickly as possible. But look at these guys' boards. They're starting to sag on the back end a little bit. And as I said, that's going to take away that stability feeling. And the last thing you want when you're 2.5 meters above the ground holding a razor-sharp axe is to have your board slip out or not feel stable while you're chopping wood. That can be a big problem up there. Puybarret, though, looking okay. He's moved to the other side and is starting to work the backside of his log. Now here, some guys are going to use a cross-cut action. Oh my goodness, Puybarret misses the block completely and almost goes down, but then takes one final blow and knocks it off, and he gets the fast win on this one.
Okay, nice work, guys. Both cuts are good.
Springboard's another one of my favorites, and yeah, get up there and cut that log.
Springboard is a lot of technical and ball.
You can't second guess it here. It's a World Championships. You got to go or don't.
And don't's not a good idea.
Okay, gentlemen, timers ready.
Contestants ready. 3, 2,
Should be interesting to see how these two fare.
Big slab, that's not a good sign.
Oh, great board by Matt Kogar on the other side. He looks really solid. Robert Ebner with a really good board as well. Robert Ebner put a lot of sauce in putting that axe up high. Hopefully he can get it out without having to struggle. He's up on his second board. Meanwhile, Matt Kogar still trying to set that pocket. He's got about an 8-hit pocket there, and he's got to pull the junk out so nothing causes his board to slip. Ebner, meanwhile, on top, working that upper block to try and get it off as quickly as possible. And look at the angle on Matt Kogar's board now. He's got a perfect angle to be able to put in a lot of power, and this could be an advantage for him because he's a great chopper at standing block. And he's got a good angle on that board that could really help him along and perhaps give him an advantage to catch up with Robert Ebner, who's still working on the front side of that block on top.
I think Matt's going to overtake him, win the heat. Yep.
Look at this, Matt Kogar already working on the backside of his log. Oh, it looks loose. One more hit, that's done it. Oh my goodness, what a come from behind by Matt Kogar. 106.94. Look at this final blow. Bang, there it goes.
His first hit in the bottom pocket had too much slope and it busted out from underneath. You can see the bark on the tree is split out. See it?
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
That pole was unreal soft, and I just presented the axe a little bit aggressive, and I was trying to cut it like I was cutting a standing block, so yeah, it didn't work out too good.
Brad DeLosa is up next. The 2013 world champ is one of the best in the world. He deliberately arrived in Norway a week early in order to prepare to take back the world title.
Individually, it's certainly, a great honour and very satisfying if you can take that world championship home. It's a great feeling, to be at the top of your game. I've had a lot of success with timber sports over the years. Your training and preparation all pays off on game day, hard work and dedication. Everything has been going quite to plan, so the preparation's been great. Springboard's probably the hardest event because you've got to put the pockets in and get to the top, so it's, once again, a crucial event for the points.
Springboard is my favorite event. It's the hardest event also in the 6 events, but I like to do Springboard.
All right, Brad DeLosa going up against Martin Komarek. These are two veterans of the sport, and we will see a great heat here.
Okay, gentlemen, timers ready.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
You can see the markings there on the wood, looking to try and help these athletes aim their first few blows. Wow, it looks like Brad DeLosa and Martin Komarek are hit for hit here. DeLosa's board on the bottom, sagging a little bit. Martin Komarek's is much more stable, but it's the top board that really counts at this point, and DeLosa's got a good top board, and so does Komarek. Both of them up top almost at the same time, and this is a tit-for-tat race right now. A little bounce off of the block from Martin Komarek's axe, and Brad DeLosa is working really hard on that first side. You want to get a nice deep cut here and make sure you don't have to do so much work on the backside when you've got a cross hand or you've got a weird angle to get at it. And look at that, Martin Komarek almost all the way through, and again he's going for that cross-handed hit, and he's going to have a good one there. It's going to be done in 45.06. That is a great time for Komarek. DeLosa left a little bit too much on the front side, and he gets it in a 50.88. You can see that cross hand, a really uncomfortable kind of look. Many guys are using that, and it works.
Okay, nice work, chaps. Both cuts are good.
Big guys like me have great difficulty with springboard. They can sometimes come up with PBs.
The springboard event to me is probably my instinctive event.
Mitch Hewitt, the former world record holder in the springboard, going up against the big man from New Zealand, the reigning 8-time world champion.
Timers ready.
Contestants ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
And as Wynyard said earlier on, big guys, not quite the advantage for them in this discipline, and Mitch Hewitt's got a solid first board, and you can see that board under Wynyard is sagging. He is a solid piece of man. Mitch Hewitt, meanwhile, is on the top block and working to get that thing down. Wynyard now up on top. He's got so much power. As long as he can get that power to the wood, he may catch up with Mitchell Hewitt. Hewitt looking good, though. He's moved to the other side, and look at this, ambidextrous hitting by Mitch Hewitt from Canada. Jason Wynyard still working on the front side, and look at that! 98, excuse me, for Mitch Hewitt, and Wynyard drops it in a 57.64.
Okay, excellent stuff, chaps. Both cuts are good.
Great times by both of those gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. That was a climb really nice, and I cut the block pretty good on top, and I couldn't have went much better.
The quickest competitor, Mitch Hewitt, collects 16 important points on the springboard. Martin Komarek follows with 14, Brad DeLosa with 12, and Jason Wynyard with 10 points. Taking a look at our overall points heading into our final discipline, Jason Wynyard sits atop the leaderboard, but a bevy of competitors sit within striking distance. With the most unpredictable, unforgiving discipline coming up. The hot saw is next when the STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship continues.
Welcome back to wintry Norway, where the top athletes are competing for the World Championship title. Each athlete has their own rituals to prepare. Jason Wynyard, Brad DeLosa, and Martin Komarek.
Well, that's what secrets are for. You're supposed to keep secrets, right?
It's the hat. I usually just turn the hat around like this for the single buck and saw with that backwards. So that's about the only superstition I run with, really. Yeah.
At the STIHL Timbersports competitions, I always have to wear the same pants. Those are my lucky pants. Without them, I'd be lost.
I understand some of other sportsmen, they have things like that. I have not real special things like that, but also I like to have on my body the name of Czech Republic.
I compete with my cap, that's my lucky charm, and brass, so I cool down a little bit and concentrate on the discipline.
I believe in luck, and so much of our sport is sometimes up to luck. I mean, you make your luck by working hard, you make your own luck, but because we're dealing with timber and not every piece of wood is the same, you have to have some luck come into it at times.
Yeah, I don't think there's any great secret. I think it's just, hard work and dedication, really. It's not something you can just turn up, and especially now, just turn up and win. You've got to really put a lot of effort into it, and your training and preparation all pays off on game day,
Here are the current standings prior to the final discipline, the hot saw. Only the highest ranked athletes will compete in the last competition. Jason Wynyard leads Martin Komarek and Brad DeLosa, while Mitch Hewitt still has a good chance to finish in a podium position.
The last discipline, hot saw. In hot saw, extremely fine-tuned and powerful chainsaws are used. The athletes have an area of 15 centimeters to cut off 3 complete discs from a 46 centimeter thick timber block. A false start or cutting over the line leads to disqualification.
I have to put it all together. Got a fast saw, it'll be fast wood, so yeah, just go for broke.
He's gonna go for the win. We talked about it, if you try to go slow and be careful, all you do is mess up. You try to go super fast and win, all you do is mess up. Every time you go up there, you have to just make your cut. If you do it the same every time, then it works.
All right, in this discipline, you're only going to see one athlete on stage at any given time because these saws are so incredibly powerful.
I would like to see Matt set the world record.
I would love that.
5'2".
Hands on the wood. Get set.
A good pull, great start by Matt Kogar, and he's got a little stall there in the middle, but the saw keeps going, and it looks like he's got 3 good discs, and man, that was quick, 6:04.
He would have 100% set that record if the saw didn't die.
5.9. That'll hold up as a top time, but we'll have to see. It's pretty soft wood.
Okay, the cut is good.
Yeah, I think it would have been close to a record. It might not have been just under, but I feel like it was, everything was working right the way it should, except that upcut. I got a little bit hungry on it and tried to put a little bit too much pressure instead of letting off a little bit, but that DC hot saw really does make a good run.
All right, next up, Mitch Hewitt from Canada. And as he said, it's a love-hate relationship. He would love to win in hot saw, but the hot saw hates him sometimes. Let's see how he does.
Get set.
Good start. The saw is running. Thin to win is the name of the game here. That first cut was great. The second one looked good too. And that third cut looks clean also. Yes, is he over the line? The judges will check that to make sure if everything is okay. Man, the concentration you need with this piece of machinery in your hand, though, is intense.
Okay, so we made a video check for safe handling of the saw, and the cut is good.
I had a legal cut, which was good, but it wasn't a good cut. The saw didn't run really well for some reason. It kind of had an electrical problem. I was feeling it in my hand, like I was getting electrocuted by it, and it just didn't cut right. So I don't know what happened.
We're down to the final moments in the STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship. Australia's Brad DeLosa, the Czech Republic's Martin Komarek, and New Zealand's Jason Wynyard controlled their destiny. Their final heats are next when the STIHL Timbersports Series continues.
The STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship is brought to you by STIHL, built in America, believing in America. Duluth Trading, designed and tested by tradesmen.
The STIHL Timbersports Series World Championship continues, and only 3 athletes remain. Each have a shot to take home the title. Up first, Australia's Brad DeLosa.
Hot saw is probably in this structure the most important event, but also the most frustrating because things can happen that are out of your control.
Brad DeLosa coming out now, and as you say, out of your control is the key word here. The only thing you can do is prepare your saw properly beforehand, make sure that everything is running. You do get a test run of the saw, but that's all. Once the competition comes, anything can happen.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
DeLosa's got a good start. 1 disc's down, 2 discs are down. Oh! He gets halfway through the disc, and that means he's going to go back and cut another one. And that cost big time right there. A huge mistake by Brad DeLosa. 9:43 is his time. And there you can see he cuts halfway through, just wanting to not get over the line, and then he's got to go back up and reset and do it again.
Okay, the cut is good.
When I went for the third cookie, I went a little bit thin, and it blew out at the top. And I was lucky that there was enough wood to go back between the line to get a full cookie. So, yeah, if I'd have went over, maybe another 3 millimeters or something, it would have been a full cookie and the time would have stood.
Hot saw is not my real favorite event. If everything right, like the chain and the machine, I like to cut also hot saw.
Well, it's about everything being right. Martin Komarek getting ready for his hot saw here. He's got a chance to do something. Let's see how he fares.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
All right, a good start by the saw. Oh my goodness! The chain has jumped off of the blade. That is unbelievable. I've never seen that before. And there, Martin Komarek is running into the back. Looks like he's going to try and fix that thing. The time is running, though. This is going to kill his chances of a podium. Oh my goodness, what a sad turn of events for Komarek as he tries to reset that chain. He will have a certain amount of time to get it back on the blade, start the saw, and make his cuts. And he's getting a lot of support from the audience here.
Okay, unfortunately, a disqualification.
if you have bad luck or if you do wrong, it's sport. Just your experience.
And hot saw. It all relies on the hot saw.
So Brad DeLosa currently leading in the standings after the hot saw, but he knows he's had a bad cookie in there, and he's got his pins and needles going as Jason Wynyard comes out. All Jason Wynyard needs to do is get 3 good, clean cookies in a fairly quick time, and he can take it again. But if he makes a mistake, it's Brad DeLosa's World Championship title. Let's see.
Hands on the wood. Get set.
Soft starts well. First disc looks solid. Second disc is very thick. He's got to really be careful on the aim of the third one. And it shoots away with a time of 7:98. Is that going to be enough? Waiting for the official call by the judges.
Okay, nice work. The cut is good.
Wow, unbelievable. Taking a look back, solid cuts here by Jason Wynyard, and you know what that means? He wins his 9th World Championship title.
Then when I looked up and saw almost 8 seconds, I was thinking, maybe this is not so good.
Yeah, look, I was pretty happy to get a silver medal, you know. It's disappointing not to win, but there can only be one winner, and Jason was too good for me today, you know.
Brad DeLosa, a true sportsman, congratulating the winner, Jason Wynyard. Mitch Hewitt takes the bronze.
This is my 5th crack at it, so to get up there was a good feeling.
The living legend continues to write his incredible story.
Thank you, Norway, and thank you to everyone back at STIHL New Zealand. Thanks for the support. It's been a great campaign and really glad to pull off the relay and the individual title.
The STIHL Timbersports World Championship 2017 is over. It was a breathtaking competition. Pure emotion, but one man kept his cool throughout it all. And the now 9-time world champion Jason Wynyard from New Zealand can enjoy the moment.